Let me ask y'all a simple question. Why do so many of us send up prayers and then act like God didn't hear a word we said? See, some of y'all pray in the morning, and by lunch you're already worrying yourself sick about the same thing you handed over to God. Why? Because you don't trust in your own prayers. And let me tell you something right now. If you don't trust what you prayed for, why would God rush to deliver it? You need to hear this whole message today, because I promise you this might be the one reminder that stops you from blocking your own blessings. You are this close to what you asked for, but your lack of trust keeps delaying it. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you're going to walk out with a whole new way of thinking about your prayers and your future. Prayer is not just something we do because we're told to. It's not just a habit passed down from our parents or grandparents. Prayer is your lifeline. It is your direct connection to the greatest power that exists, the power that created the heavens, the earth, and you. And the thing is, most people don't even realize the strength of that connection. They treat prayer like some kind of formality, like something they got to do before bed or before a meal. But real prayer, real conversation with God, is the most powerful tool you will ever have in your life. When you pray, you're not just speaking into the air. You are plugging into a source that is bigger, wiser, and more capable than anything you could ever dream up. You're talking to the one who sees the whole picture while you only see a small piece. The problem is, too many folks don't believe in the power of that connection. They say the words, but deep down they doubt that anything's really going to change. That's like having the most powerful phone in the world and never dialing the number, or dialing it and hanging up before anyone answers. That's what we do with prayer. We say a few words, but our heart isn't in it. Or we speak the words, but don't wait to hear the answer because we're too busy trying to solve everything ourselves. Prayer is not a ritual. It's not a speech you memorize. It's you being honest with your Creator. It's you saying, I can't do this by myself. I need you. And that's the kind of prayer that moves mountains. That's the kind of prayer that changes lives. And the beautiful part is, you don't need fancy words. You don't need a perfect setting. You don't need to have it all together before you go to God, because prayer isn't about perfection. It's about connection. It's about opening your heart, telling the truth, and trusting that what you said has been heard. When you really understand that prayer is your connection to the power that guides your life, you stop worrying so much. You stop feeling like you have to control every little thing. You stop panicking when things don't go your way, because you know that you've already handed it over to the one who knows how to handle it better than you ever could. See, real prayer gives you peace. Not because the problem disappeared overnight, but because you know you're not fighting it alone. You know that your words reached the right ears. You know that your message got through. And even when you don't see anything changing on the outside right away, you can feel it on the inside. That's the power of prayer. It shifts something inside of you first. It reminds you that you are not powerless. It reminds you that you are not forgotten. It reminds you that you are connected to the ultimate source of strength, wisdom, and love. And once you feel that, once you truly trust that connection, you walk differently. You talk differently. You think differently. Because you know that every time you close your eyes, bow your head, and open your mouth, you are connecting directly to the power that is greater than anything you will ever face in this world. And that power loves you, hears you, and is working things out for you behind the scenes even as you speak. Doubt is one of the most dangerous things you can let into your heart. It's like a slow poison. You don't always notice it at first, but over time it starts to eat away at everything good inside of you. Doubt whispers in your ear that your dreams are too big, that your prayers won't work, that your situation can't change. And the more you listen to that voice, the more it controls you. The sad part is that a lot of people's dreams don't die because they weren't capable, or because they weren't talented enough or smart enough. No, their dreams die because they let doubt take over. They give up before the blessing shows up. They stop believing right at the moment when they were closest to their breakthrough. Doubt convinces you to quit. It tells you, why keep praying? Nothing's happening. Why keep trying? You're just wasting your time. And when you listen to that, you block your own miracle. You shut the door that was about to open. You cancel the delivery that was already on its way to you. But when you really trust, everything changes. Trust fuels miracles. Trust is what keeps you going when nothing seems to be working. Trust is what helps you stand tall when the storm is raging around you. Trust reminds you that just because you don't see it happening right now doesn't mean it's not happening at all. There's a difference between waiting with doubt and waiting with trust. When you wait with doubt, you're anxious, you're frustrated, you're bitter. But when you wait with trust, you're calm, you're patient, you're hopeful. That's because trust keeps your heart open for the blessing. Trust keeps you ready for the miracle. Doubt closes you off. It shuts down your faith. It makes you miss the signs that your answer is already on the way. You start focusing so much on what you don't see that you stop noticing what God is actually doing behind the scenes. Every single person who's ever accomplished something great had to fight doubt. They had to choose trust even when everything around them said give up. And let me tell you something, that choice isn't always easy. It takes courage to trust. It takes strength to keep believing when the odds are stacked against you. But that's exactly when miracles happen. That's when doors open that no one can shut. That's when opportunities show up out of nowhere. Because trust is a signal to the universe, to God, that you're ready, that you're serious, that you believe in what you're asking for. And when you send out that signal, blessings come looking for you. Miracles start chasing you down. But it starts with trust. It starts with you deciding that no matter what it looks like, no matter how long it takes, you will not give up on your prayer, your dream, your vision. Doubt may knock at your door, but you don't have to let it in. You can choose trust. You can choose faith. You can choose to keep going, to keep believing, to keep standing tall no matter what. Because the truth is, the size of your miracle is often determined by the size of your trust. The bigger your trust, the greater the miracle waiting for you on the other side. One of the hardest lessons you'll ever learn in life is that your blessings don't always come when you want them to. You can plan, you can schedule, you can set all the deadlines you want, but God's timing doesn't follow your calendar, and that's where a lot of people get frustrated, because we live in a world where we want everything fast. We want instant results. We want the prayer answered now, the dream fulfilled today, the door opened this very moment. But that's not how blessings usually work. Blessings come when they're meant to come, not when you think they should. And there's a good reason for that. See, sometimes you're not ready for what you're asking for. Sometimes the situation isn't ready. Sometimes the people who are supposed to help you along the way aren't in position yet. So the blessing is delayed, not because it's denied, but because it's being prepared at the right time in the right way, so it can last. The problem is, when that delay happens, we start to doubt. We start to question if the blessing is ever coming at all. We start to think maybe our prayer wasn't heard, maybe our dream was too big, maybe it's just not meant for us, And that's where trust comes in. Trust means you keep believing even when the clock is ticking and nothing's happening. Trust means you hold on to your faith when it feels like everybody else is moving ahead and you're standing still. Trust means you stop trying to force it and start learning to wait with patience, with hope, with confidence. Because here's the truth, the process is just as important as the blessing. What you learn while you wait, how you grow, how you mature, how you stay faithful, that's what prepares you to handle the blessing when it arrives. If you rush it, if you skip the process, you might get the blessing but lose it just as fast because you weren't ready to hold on to it. There's a reason people say timing is everything. The blessing at the wrong time can feel like a burden. The blessing before you're ready can turn into a lesson you didn't want to learn the hard way. So when you pray, and when you believe, and when you ask, you have to trust that the timing will be perfect even if it's not immediate. Because what's meant for you can't miss you. It may take longer than you thought. It may not come the way you expected, but it will come right on time. And you'll look back and realize that the waiting wasn't wasted. You'll see that every delay was actually preparation. You'll understand that the process taught you things about yourself, about your strength, about your faith, that you couldn't have learned any other way. So don't let the timing shake your trust. Don't let the delay make you give up. Don't let the silence make you think your prayer didn't go through. It did. It's just that what you asked for is so great, so powerful, so life-changing, that it's taking time to be prepared exactly the way it's supposed to be. What you pray about, how you pray, and how often you pray, it all plays a huge role in the kind of mindset you develop. A lot of people don't even realize it, but prayer isn't just about asking for things or handing your problems over to God. Prayer shapes how you see the world. It shapes how you think about yourself, about your challenges, about your future. If your prayer life is weak, if you only pray when things fall apart, then your mindset will be filled with fear, worry, and doubt. You'll go through life reacting to problems instead of standing strong in the middle of them. But when your prayer life is strong, when it's consistent, when it's honest, it builds a mindset of confidence, of peace, of power. You stop seeing challenges as things that are there to destroy you. You start seeing them as opportunities to grow, to trust, to rise higher than you ever thought you could. The thing is, your mindset controls so much more than you think. Your mindset is what decides if you quit or keep going. Your mindset is what helps you stay hopeful when everything looks hopeless. Your mindset is what allows you to see blessings even in the middle of the storm. And where does that mindset come from? It comes from what you feed your spirit. It comes from what you tell yourself every day. And prayer is one of the most powerful ways to feed your spirit. Every time you pray, you are reminding yourself that you're not alone in this. You're reminding yourself that you have help, that you have guidance, that you have strength that goes beyond what you can see or feel in the moment. Prayer gives you perspective. It lifts your eyes above the problem so you can see the bigger picture. It keeps you grounded so that success doesn't make you arrogant and failure doesn't make you give up. See, success isn't just about working hard. It's not just about having talent or being in the right place at the right time. Success starts in your mind. If your mind isn't right, nothing else is going to work for long. You can have all the money, all the connections, all the opportunities in the world, but if your mindset is weak, you'll lose it all. But if your mindset is strong, if your mind is focused, positive, and grounded in faith, there is no obstacle too big, no challenge too hard, no setback too painful that can stop you. And that kind of mindset is built through prayer, because prayer keeps you connected to your purpose. It keeps you connected to your vision. It keeps you connected to the source of your strength. When you pray, you're not just talking, you're tuning your mind to the right frequency. You're aligning your thoughts with your faith. You're building up the kind of mindset that doesn't break when life gets tough. You're preparing yourself to handle the success that's coming your way without letting it change who you are. You're preparing yourself to rise after every fall, to keep your eyes on the goal, and to move forward with courage, no matter what comes against you. There's something powerful that happens when you stop just saying prayers and start having faith in those prayers. When you really believe in what you're asking for, when you really trust that your words have been heard and that an answer is on the way, it changes how you carry yourself. It changes how you face your problems. It changes how you go through the hardest moments in your life, because faith in your prayers brings you peace, even when the storm is raging all around you. And let's be real, storms will come. Nobody gets through this life without facing hard times. There will be moments when it feels like everything is falling apart. Moments when you don't know how you're going to make it. Moments when the people you counted on let you down. Moments when the plan you thought was so perfect doesn't work out at all. That's life. But the difference between people who crumble under that pressure and people who stand tall is faith. The people who stand tall aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who trusted in something greater than what they could see. They're the ones who believed that their prayer wasn't wasted breath, that their prayer wasn't just words in the dark, but a lifeline that kept them steady when everything else was shaking. See, when you have faith in your prayer, you can face the storm with a calm that doesn't make sense to other people. You can look at the same problem that's making everybody else panic, and you can say, I'm good. I know who's got this. That doesn't mean you don't feel the wind, that you don't hear the thunder, that you don't see the waves. It means you know the storm doesn't have the final say. It means you've already handed it over. You've already put it in the hands of the one who can calm the storm, or carry you through it, or use it to take you somewhere you never thought you could go. And that kind of peace, that unshakable peace, only comes when you believe in what you've prayed for. It comes when you stop trying to figure it all out on your own. It comes when you stop replaying the worst case scenarios in your mind. It comes when you remind yourself that faith isn't about seeing the answer right now, it's about knowing the answer is on the way. There's a lot of folks who pray, but they still worry. They pray, but they still lose sleep. They pray, but they still try to control everything. And that's why they can't find peace. Because peace doesn't come just from praying. It comes from trusting. It comes from believing that you're not walking through that storm by yourself, that there's a bigger plan, a higher purpose, a powerful hand guiding you through it. And once you grab hold of that faith, once you really believe that your prayer has power, you stop being shaken by the things that used to break you. You stop falling apart every time something goes wrong. You stop letting fear control your mind, because now you're standing on solid ground. Now you know that no matter how hard the wind blows, no matter how loud the storm gets, you've got peace in your heart because you've got faith in your prayer.